Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to tell you about this book, The Taking of Jake Livingston, and I'm going to open some stuff I got from Owlcrate. Okay, so here's the problem. It's not really a problem. I've got two boxes from Owlcrate. I believe that one of them is the monthly box, which I am in the middle of a 3-month subscription for, I think. And then the other one is a bunch of random stuff that I wanted to buy from their shop. Usually I think that that stuff is stuff that's left over from boxes that weren't, purchased or whatever. So I'm thinking that I might just show you guys the monthly box and tell you about the book. All right, so the book is The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas. So you can probably tell from the cover that it's spooky. It would be a great read for folks who read more spooky or enjoy ghost stories around October, but I read spooky all year long. So this story is about a 16-year-old boy named Jake who is a medium. He can see ghosts and ghouls and all of that kind of thing. And he knows that. So he meets regularly with a woman named Miss Loretta who helps him think about his powers and how to be in control of it and all of that stuff. But he's really tormented isn't the right word, but it kind of is the right word because he sees this stuff all the time. He hears it all the time. He's sort of pulled into the world of the dead pretty often. And he's super weird at school. So he's always zoning out. He doesn't have a lot of friends. He's not really paying attention to what's going on around him. And he has one friend who he doesn't really care about that much. He is a Black kid in a predominantly white prep school or charter school or private school or something like that. So what's happened over the last year or so, I believe, maybe 3 years, is that there was a school shooter at a different school. And Jake starts to see the shooter. And the story is told in alternating perspectives. What's happening with Jake now, and then the journal entries of the school shooter before the school shooting happened. And then Jake discovers the journal later. So we're kind of all caught up in what was in that book at the time. At the same time, Jake is kind of trying to figure out what's going on. Like, why is the pattern that's happening with some kids who are dying, like why does that seem related to the school shooting, all of those kinds of things. Nobody really believes him. Nobody wants to talk to him about it. And his brother, there's some conflict going on with his brother and with this friend. And there's a new Black kid who joins this school who starts befriending him, and he doesn't know why because the kid is cool and all of that sort of stuff. So I really enjoyed this book. I really love the cover. There's some racial commentary, as you might expect. There are trigger warnings everywhere. There's dead people everywhere. There is budding romance between our Jakey and the new kid, but it doesn't get explicit or anything. So it's not like gross for it to be 16-year-olds. There's also, an interesting opportunity to think about the parents in this book, I think. So Jake is living with his mother. I don't know if it says where his dad is, but he's not in the picture. And then he has this older brother who's kind of a jock at the school, well-liked, but kind of a troublemaker also. And he doesn't feel connected to his family. And there's some history with his dad that was not good. And so he is really pulled away from his family. And then with the school shooter, some similar things are happening there. He doesn't feel connected to anyone. He actually feels really disconnected and almost like The only way he feels better is when other people feel bad as bad as he does. So I really thought it was an interesting kind of glimpse into some of that stuff. And, you know, there's a sister. They both have a sibling who's kind of older, who's trying to take care of them in different ways that neither of them really like. So I really enjoyed the book. I don't think you have to think about it as hard as all that to enjoy it. It's YA or very advanced middle grade. Like I think I've got some older kids, like 12 years old, who might like this book. But again, there's, you know, death everywhere. So be aware. And school shooting, you know, all that stuff that kids know about. Like, you know, we put them through active shooter drills. They can read about it, right? But I would say that if you give it to a younger teen or anything like that, that they have the opportunity and the space to talk about it with grown-ups or you know, a safe person. All right, so that's the book, The Taking of Jake Livingston. I'm so glad I finally got to it. I've been carrying it around with me since October, at least. Tell me if you've read it and what you think. All right, so then we have the Owlcrate box. I really love the box. I am not a rep for this box. I got it. The intention was to only have it for 3 months. I believe this is the 3rd box, and I think I think my subscription, you know, automatically renewed already, so that's too bad. But I will probably go in and cancel it because I can't keep getting all of the boxes. And I just recently started a trial period, 3 months, of something called the Quirky Crate, which is not book oriented, it's bag oriented, which is another thing I super like, bags. I still have the Tea Sips By box subscription. I still have Fairy Loot. Oh, Owlcrate. So I just came off of the waiting list for Owlcrate, which will start for me in January, which means I gotta get rid of something. So let's see if Owlcrate could possibly disappoint me, which it just really can't, because I've really enjoyed everything. I just have to make some decisions about what to keep and what to get rid of. Let me get a box for all of this. I can use my bookish box to hold all of the paper. I just opened that for an unboxing a few minutes ago. Let's see what we got going on here. There's a lot of this stuff this time. Okay. We've got oh, maybe this is not the box. It's not the box. It's the extra crap I bought. Let's see if this is the box. Both of these are the extra stuff I bought. So I'm going to show you what it is anyway. Change of plans. I got this enamel pen inspired by These Violet Delights. I love that book so much. The second book, Our Violent Ends, I think is what it's called, is out, but I have the Fairy Loot special edition of that book, of the first one, and so I really want the special edition of the second one, but I'll probably check out the second one so that I can read it. Scallopy scaled washi tape. I know that my mom's probably the only one watching the rest of this video since it's not about a book, but I don't mind. A canister that I loved. It's a TBR jar, and the idea is that you put books or a number or whatever on paper, and then you put it in the jar, and then you pull. It's so cute. And I actually might put tea in it. That seems like a better thing to do with it, in my opinion. We have a to-do list that has an octopus. So they were having a deep sale. Some of these things were very inexpensive compared to how much they were when they originally were on the website. And that's why I maybe bought too many things. And the other reason why I was even on the website is for these book tins. So the Owlcrate box that I got for this month had the Gray London book tin from A Darker Shade of Magic. So I went online to find out where I was in the series of the book tins, because there's going to be 4, because there's 4 Londons. And the one that I got, which was Gray London, was the 3rd one. Is this hard for anybody else? Like, who can... It was the 3rd one. So I logged in to see if they still had Red London and White London, which they did. So this is the Red London. This is the Black London, sorry. Black London, which I got in the Fairy Loot this month. And then Gray London is the other one I had to buy. Decided to buy from Owlcrate's shop. So then whenever the Black London comes, I will have them all. I love it. There was also a book tin in my bookish box this month for Caraval, which is pretty cool. It's here. Look at that. That is beautiful. Not Owlcrate. The bookish box. Okay, so I'm excited about those. I actually reread the first of the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy, I think. Last month, 2 months ago. My goal is to reread all of them. I think there's 3 books. 4 Londons. I don't hate Lila Bard as much this time as the first time I read it. I still don't like her though. So I know that she's sort of an example that people use of strong main character women or whatever, but actually she's pretty careless, and I think that some of her behavior really puts everybody else at risk. And I think you can be a strong person and still be a thoughtful person. Again, you don't have to think about it that much. I really also just love the sort of A Darker Shade of Magic idea. Like, the concept is really good. And I think that V.E. Schwab does such a good job with concepts. And I don't love her execution all the time, but I think A Darker Shade of Magic has so many elements that I like. So the other set of crap from Owlcrate is Literary Voyager. So this is like a merit badge. And I have a number of patches that I'm adding to my canvas backpack. So I got this one. I think I got a second one too. If I can get rid of all of this stuff. And I got The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. Again, it was on sale. It's packed with a mermaid sticker, which I also got. I love this. Look at that. Look at that cover. Ah! Love it. And from Maggie Stiefvater, I got the Mr. Impossible Owlcrate Special Edition. I didn't really care about the special edition, but again, it was on super sale. It was like $7 or something. And I've been really wanting to read this. And then I don't even know what this is. Enamel pin, creepy AF. And the special edition signed copy of Blessed Monsters by Emily Duncan. So that was a bunch of stuff that I got because they were running such a good sale when I went to get those book tins. So none of that was anything I intended to buy, but it was super cool and it was cheap comparatively. All right. I'll catch you on the next one.